Hi guys, hope you're well. I just wanted to make a video to share some of my experiences since beginning of August. As you know, my last message which I recorded was made on around the first week of August, around when Lionsgate energies were peaking and were at their maximum. And since then, a lot of changes have occurred, and there's a lot that I wanted to share. And what I do is take mini notes of all my Ascension updates and all the communications that I have with my guides, and I jot them down in mini notes. And when I feel that there's some cohesion and when there's some themes that are playing out in my own life, then I share my experiences with everyone who's able to receive these messages. And I'm so grateful and honored that you took the time to receive this message and allowed me to share my experience with you. And my sincere hope is that these messages allow you to resonate with certain frequencies that uplift your soul, that raise our collective vibration, and also some of the knowledge and experiences that are coming through from my guides and our higher selves and our collective guides to assist with the ascension of humanity. So getting right into it, what's occurring right now since the beginning of August, Lionsgate pretty much changed the energetics of Earth. As many know, that Lionsgate is the portal that occurs every year on August 8th. And this year, what anchored was a very, very powerful energy, which was palpable by light workers around the world. And since then, the energies, the incoming waves of energy that we receive on planet Earth from the great central sun have been pretty much happening daily. So it's a daily occurrence that we need to integrate these energies, and we're getting massive upgrades in our DNA, in our consciousness, in our programming, and the way our bodies are wired physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So these are very palpable changes taking place, and I know a lot who are tuned into the frequency of this message are already receiving these upgrades, so you will feel it within your own life experience. And what's taking place right now is very interesting. I received a message through my Arcturian sources that there are certain levels of ascended beings who are assisting planet Earth, and one of these races or species are the Arcturians, which are a collective consciousness. They are not individuated beings, and these are beings that have completed many cycles of universes over billions of years, and they are evolved to the point where they no longer physically incarnate. So you can compare their way of being, their way of existence is very close in vibration and nature to the angelic frequencies. They're more of a light consciousness rather than a physical or individuated being, although they can individuate their consciousness if needed. So these Arcturian sources have shared with us that they are downloading new frequencies within our DNA to allow higher vibrations of crystalline light to come online within our bodies. So previously what was taking place is that the light codes being sent to us were already of a very high frequency, and it was up to us to assimilate this information within our DNA. And what assists ones walking the spiritual path to absorb these light codes and frequencies more efficiently is to constantly cleanse our vessels on a physical level through our diet, through drinking clean water, through eating organic food, and to stay away from heavy and dense foods like fast foods, meats of all kinds, and pollutants, toxins, all of those things that hinder the flow of energy within our body. And that's on the physical level. On the emotional level, what assists us is to keep our emotions in a state of harmonious grace and balance and ease most of the time, and more take harmonize our lower emotions, such as anger, such as guilt, such as resentment, such as hatred, revenge, and greed. All of these things, jealousy, envy, all of these are lower vibrational frequencies on the scale of free will, if you will. These are lower vibrational frequencies that hinder our soul's growth, and they keep us locked into this wheel of karma, and they keep us perpetuating various life events that are undesirable to us or keep us locked into states of misery. So the key or the secret that every great teacher would want you to know is that you master your life by mastering your state of being. So when you are making a conscious effort to master your emotions by making a positive choice in each moment, especially in moments when you're triggered by others, to not attach to the trigger, not attach to that which is bothering you, but rather make a conscious decision and a conscious choice to ascend into a higher state of being. And that's really what, when we break down to the simple meaning of ascension, that's really what it is. We're ascending through a conscious choice in each moment. It is like each moment is a rung in the ladder, and within that moment you have a choice whether you want to descend into a lower vibratory state or ascend into a higher vibratory state. And even if you're lying on the couch and a random thought comes in and says, go to McDonald's and have a Big Mac, but then you can make a choice that says, why don't I go to Whole Foods instead and grab a green juice and do something that's good for my body. So that's what's happening right now. And the Arcturian frequencies that are coming in are downloading new sequences of DNA that were not existing within our body. These are activating nucleopeptides within our bodies that are making it easier for our body chemistry to change and assimilate higher frequencies of light. And through now, we're already in 2020 energetically, as a galactic new year cycle has begun. So from now on, the energies that we will be receiving are going to be of a very intense nature, and these energies are specifically designed to target the waves of volunteers and the first wavers. And you'll know who you are. These are people who are awakened, and these are people who are actively on their soul's mission. They know what their soul's mission is, or they're just even beginning to wake up and realize that there is a bigger purpose to their existence on planet Earth. And these first wavers are going to be receiving the current galactic activation codes in such strong ways that it literally feels like your personality is changing. Your higher faculties are coming online. And it is also becoming more and more of a conundrum that it almost feels like we're coming to a point where we don't have, where our ego's will is diminishing and our higher will is becoming the dominant factor that plays in our life. And many of us are beginning to see this. Previously, it was like we were in a state where ego was 50% and higher self or our higher will was 50%. And there was a constant tug of war between, should I do what the ego wants or should I do what the higher self wants? And it was like a give and take process. But now we're automatically downloading so much light into our bodies that most of us have anchored 60% of our higher self and higher into our being. And that is causing us to make better choices. That is causing us to follow our innate intelligence automatically. So previously, we laugh at this, previously we would want to go to the park, for example, and we would just like be lazy, right? For example, I would just feel lazy and not go to the park, although I know that's what my body really craves. But now it's not a choice. Now my body picks up from the couch, picks up those keys, packs up the car and goes and spends the day in the park when I need to, and also goes for diet. Like before, I used to put off cleansing and juice fasts and all those good things that I knew my body needed and required in order to receive the higher quotients of light. Previously, I had more of a choice, or I should say my ego had more of a choice into whether I should do it or not, and now my body's just demanding it. So it's becoming automatic, all of these changes. You're gonna find that if you've been putting off going to the gym, you're going to feel less resistance. It's not that your free will is being trampled on, it's more that you are embodying the free will of your higher self, and your ego is slowly having less of a say. So there's less resistance and more self-discipline coming online. And that brings me to another point, is that there's a new template being downloaded into our being at the moment, which is a triad. So in the third density, when we're operating from the mind, from the ego, we make all our decisions from our logical mind. But through the process of ascension and spiritual awakening, the heart's mind comes online. So the heart's wisdom kicks in, and as you know, the heart's wisdom is connected to the greater mind of God and all that is. And when the heart's wisdom comes online, it is also connected to the triad of the mind, heart, and the gut. So this is the triad template that is coming online now. So the heart is the wisdom and the knowledge of all that is, and the gut is your instinct. So when you use your instinct, your heart's wisdom, and your logical mind, with the heart as the main driver of all the decisions, you will see this higher intelligence come online, and just bringing awareness to this process helps in that you will see yourself making decisions that you could not comprehend with your logical mind before. And there's many examples I can give you of this from my own personal life, but I'll leave that to another video, as I wanted to focus on a few specific messages here. So what my guides were also showing me, that in any given moment within ourselves, there's only room for one. It's either the higher self or your ego. There's not room for both. So there's many who feel frustration that why is my guidance not coming online, or why am I not able to channel messages like everybody else, or why am I not able to hear my guides? That's because the first step that you need to take is to cleanse yourself and harmonize your ego. So there's two aspects of this. Cleansing your physical vessel is very important through diet, exercise, and going in nature, which opens up all of your energetics to receive the higher guidance. And second, and equally important, is also to harmonize your ego. Because if you're receiving guidance and your ego is dominant, your ego is just going to dismiss it, or start questioning it, or start poking holes in it. But what actually, the way it's supposed to work in a harmonious or in the most optimal situation, I would say, is that the ego is so tame, or the ego is so harmonized, that the question doesn't arise from the logical mind. Like, why should I do this? Why should I do this? That's always resistance. So whenever higher guidance comes online, notice which parts of you are resisting that guidance and questioning it and poking holes in it and saying, well, that doesn't make sense. Sometimes, well, I would say 99% of the time, the guidance that you receive is going to completely confuse the hell out of your logical mind. But as you begin to surrender and trust more and more in that guidance, you will notice that this guidance is powered by the most genius, by the most all-knowing source of knowledge possible, because it will help you navigate through life in ways that seem miraculous. So this is a process of surrendering your ego and integrating more and trusting and following your guidance. Because one other things that my guides share with me is that if you don't follow guidance, it won't last forever. If you don't use it, you lose it. So in this case, this does apply. Um, your guides are going to shut up if you're not listening. So take that for a moment and really absorb that, because your guides are not going to keep on working on you unless you're working towards them equally. Your higher self wants to meet you, but it wants to meet you halfway. It doesn't want to babysit you or spoon feed you. It needs to know that you're making changes. It needs to know that you're making sacrifices in your choices. Well, I say sacrifices, but everything that is being indicated in your life from your higher self is not really a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice for the ego, but when you look at it, is it good for me? It's always good for you in one way or another. So that's how you bring more of your self-discipline online, when you start surrendering to your higher self. And this is a time, and my guides could not emphasize this enough, that this is a time where we need to follow the advice of our higher self to the T. So especially for the way showers, for the first wavers, all the leaders of communities, and you know who you are, this is time for us to really pay attention to the finer details. And our guidance comes in many scales. Some guidance is like, it comes like a news flash or a bulletin. It's like, don't go there, don't go there. And other guidance is going to be very, very subtle. Like, you might not want to do that, but like, think about it. So sometimes the guidance can be so subtle that we almost think that it's okay to ignore it, but we know deep inside what's guidance and what's not. So this is the time for the advanced souls, for the way showers, for the first wavers, that are higher selves and prime creator and our guides are really coming in and asking us to strap up our laces and roll up our sleeves and get to work with all the finer details of what's left of what we need to do. So all of our finer lessons are going to be coming up, and this is a time for radical integrity. So Ascension is a process where we're constantly questioning and self-examining and looking at all aspects of our lives which are not in complete truth and honesty, and that is integrity. So what I'm being shown right now is going into 2020, the only way we are going to ride the incoming waves that are going to be sent towards us is if we're in a state of complete and utter radical honesty and integrity at all times. So if you were telling white lies, if you were telling, still playing a few games here and there, and you thought they were harmless, and you were kind of like manipulating things, even if it's like 5%, there's no more of that. We have to be 100% in our integrity, and that also allows us to embody more of our higher self. So this is the time to examine which parts of yourself are not fully in truth and honesty to yourself. Remember, nobody else outside you. It's not like how religion taught us that there's a angry God above who's going to be judging you and damn you into a hellfire. We all know that's not the case. But what does happen is we are our own biggest critic in spirituality, and we know within our hearts which parts of us are being honest and truthful and which are out of alignment. So this is a time for being fully in alignment with our truth, and that's the only way we're going to move forward and receive these higher energetic, these higher angelic frequencies that are now coming online. And also, we all know that this is a time when we all become our own gurus, and by that it means you are your own biggest teacher. What may be right for me is not necessarily what's right for you. So even when you are listening to teachers, when you're listening to videos, when you're listening to the opinion of others, take what resonates and discard what doesn't resonate. If I tell you that it's okay for me to eat fish once in a while as part of my diet, that may not necessarily mean it's okay for you. You may want to be 100% vegan, or you may want to eat meat once in a while. That's okay. The important part is you don't simply take directives from anyone, and you don't make a new framework around what you've been told. The whole process of ascension is about you standing as a pillar of light and making conscious choices for what feels right to you and what feels out of alignment for you. And your higher self is constantly, through feelings, constantly showing you what's out of alignment in your life and what needs to change. And 2020 is the year also that many souls are going to be coming online, and it is vital for us to stand and fully activate our soul's mission. And many people are now asking, what is my soul's mission? What is my purpose? That is a natural question to ask when we first awaken. And what my guides showed me to share with you is that our soul's frequency, our soul's mission is always encoded within our being, has always been encoded within our being since the day we were born. And some know us, some have done enough of the work to clear all of their fears and traumas, that they have enough guidance and clarity that they begin to see the pieces of their lives that are showing them as indicators as what they need to do on planet Earth. How can they be of assistance? And others are just picking up the pieces and looking at all the moving parts within their life and trying to figure out what their soul's mission is. So to that effect, what guidance is being sent down is telling us that pay attention to every single decision you've made in your life until now, because nothing happens randomly in your life. Every single thing that has taken place until now, including the choice of school you went to, including the family you were born to, including the traumas that you had, all of these were given to you as a boot camp or as a school for helping you learn and pick up all of the attributes and traits that make you who you are today. And our soul's frequency and our soul's mission usually lies in how we overcome obstacles in our lives. So how we overcome obstacles in our lives makes us an expert. For example, you may have been stuck in a marriage with a narcissist for so many years, and now you've gotten out of that relationship. You've completely mastered how to be neutral in that situation and not send anger or hate back. And you've also become a master at how to deal with manipulators and narcissists. So what you could do in that situation is share your experiences with others and start making social media posts, start making video posts, and share this knowledge with others, because no matter what situation you're in, somebody else on planet Earth may benefit from your experience. And rising in our soul's frequency, rising in our soul's mission, literally means getting our voice heard. And I know a lot of light workers are camera shy. I used to be camera shy myself and still am to some extent. However, this is part of my process. So my guides are telling me to come from writing posts and put my face out there and share messages, as this deepens the connection and this deepens the way we spread our messages, and they become more potent and we form this personal connection. Not only that, but you also shine your soul's frequencies through your eyes, and your eyes disseminate codes through videos. So this is the way we connect with each other, eye to eye, heart to heart, and it is being broadcast to the entire Starseed Nation that now is the time for us to rise up and vocalize all of our gifts, all of our abilities, to share social media was part of the plan of this ascension to allow the whole world to unite on a common platform. So it is being used for these purposes, to unite us and to spread all of our collective messages and to help uplift each other. And having said that, I wish you have a blessed day, and until we meet again, thank you. I love you.